This tutorial is the instructions to the C8 assignment dealing with how a digital device works. Now just very quickly here, I wanted to show you something here. When you click on the assignment link to get started, you go to the assignment page here. What we're looking for under assignment helpers is where the C8 flowchart diagram assignment slide template is. Okay, so find that on the assignment page, and you're going to click on that. Now when you click on that, what it's going to do is open up a little different view than what you see here. It's going to open up a view of this scrambled assignment slide, but you aren't able to edit it yet. It's a view only. Okay, so what you need to do to be able to complete this assignment, first of all, is that you need to go in and you need to make a copy of what I've shared with you there. So go into File, go to where it says Make a Copy under File. Okay, it'll ask you what you want to name it. At this time, let's go ahead and name it what the instructions tell us to do, and that is to name it S1, and then of course your actual hour. Okay, or if you're in semester 2, it'd be S2. Okay, your last name. Remember, YLN stands for your last name. Okay, and then just go C8 because it's the C8 assignment. Okay, actually let's go. I'm sorry, it was supposed to be C8 assignment, I believe is what the instructions told you. Okay, so we'll just go something like that, or you can put a space in there if you want to, whatever. Okay, so S1 blank, your last name, C8 assignment. Remember, if you're semester 2 students, S2, and then your hour that way. Okay, and then go ahead and hit OK, and then what it does, it generates a new copy of the assignment for you. Excuse me. So this is what we're going to work from here on out. So you can go ahead and close the other one that you downloaded or you opened up rather from the assignment page. Okay, and what we're going to do here, this is kind of a flowchart puzzle, if you will. All right, and what we are looking at here is the way a digital device works in terms of how it uses its internal hardware parts and external, I guess I should say, all of its hardware parts, okay, to use data, okay. So remember that we have parts that are for input, we have parts that are for output, and then we also have parts of a digital device that processes the information. Now I kind of scrambled everything up here, so it's kind of a puzzle, if you will, okay. But let's start by kind of separating the input and output devices. Now you'll see some signs. You may have to kind of spread things around, but what you want to find here is the output device example sign. I'm just going to put this up in the corner. Now you can set this up however you want, okay? But I like to work left to right, so I'm going to go and put the input device examples over here, okay? I'll give you a chance to do that in a second. All right. Now, as you look through the different pictures here, first of all, you got a bunch of arrows here, and those are for kind of organizing the flow of information here. All right. So let's kind of put the arrows off to the side right now until we get some of the images cleared out of here and that sort of thing. All right. So I'm going to kind of organize these down here, take these images out. Now, some of these are parts from an older tech concept where we talked about input and output. Okay, so you see, for example, a keyboard. That is definitely an input device. We're going to move that up here. The mouse is definitely an input device. Okay. The microphone is definitely an input device. All right. Now you see the monitor down here. That's definitely an output device. I'm going to put that over on this side. Okay. Hard drive really isn't that, so we'll leave that there for now. That's a network card. We'll get to that in a second. But speakers, if you recall, were an output device. Okay. And printer. You can see a printer here right now. That is definitely an output device. I'm going to put that over there. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to take a look at is how we set up some of these internal parts. You're seeing a lot of internal parts here. So let's kind of see where we should put these. Now, the picture in the middle here, if you recognize this is the central processing unit. So we're going to kind of put that in there. Now, you notice in the background, guys, you notice the motherboard picture there. That is a computer's motherboard or main circuit board. Okay. And again, all digital device has this. It just looks a little different depending on the device. For example, in your phone, there's a motherboard, but it's very small. On a iPad or a tablet, it's a little bit bigger than a phone, obviously, but much smaller than what this is. This is for a full-size computer we see in the background. But the concept is still the same, okay? Now, real quick, you see some of these arrows here, okay? And the way the arrows work is they are kind of dictating the flow of data, okay? So what we need to look for is the arrow that talks about input, okay, and how they work with, the way a digital device works. And here's the input arrow right here. Now you notice they're kind of turned funny. You may have to move them around. The way to move an arrow is simply by turning the tilt handle here. It's a little circle on kind of top here. You notice what it reads there. It says input device to send data commands to CPU to execute. So that's the whole idea of these input devices. All right. I have to be kind of careful with the cursor. See how if I move it over here, kind of gives me those 4 arrows pointing in different directions. That allows me to move it around. If you click on a handle, it's going to change the size of the arrow, and we kind of avoid that because we're kind of cramped for space here anyway. So try to leave them the same size. If you do change the size by accident, simply use the undo button like I just did. Okay. So we're going to get these arrows organized. Now you notice a couple of items down here. The video card, remember that's an internal device. The idea behind the video card is it takes information from the computer, or I should say the CPU unit here in the middle, okay, and then sends it out to the monitor or the screen, depending on what kind of a digital device you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the video card, even though it's kind of an internal part, we're going to put it up here in the output devices. Now, if it makes more sense to put it up here to the monitor, you can. We're a little cramped for room in the way I have it set up, so I'm just going to put it down this side. Okay. Then you can also notice we have some hard drives and things like that, a couple of hard drive examples here. So let's put those in one corner. His digital device storage devices are down here, so I'm just going to kind of take both of these. Even though one's an external, one's an internal, they both serve as digital storage devices. And if you remember this is a network card. More specifically, this is a wireless network card. So I'm going to move these over a little bit, and I'm going to put that down here. Okay. Now I'm going to stop giving you examples here because we are starting, it's starting to get long. But I will flash up what this should look like in the end. Okay. Because we do have to organize our arrows yet. And because remember, the arrows represent the flow of information or data in a digital device system. Okay. So we talked about the inputs and outputs. Remember that the CPU, okay, draws, this arrow here is going to be used to talk about how data is taken from storage devices and then saved back to them, okay. This arrow here is upside down. We're going to want to turn this around, okay. This talks about CPU draws and sends data from the network, which can include internet access as needed for input and output commands. So this would be the flow of information or data from the computer network. Again, usually the network also, would include the internet and other devices that are on that are part of the computer system. Okay. And then finally, we have the CPU sends data to various output devices. So that's data going out or output, and that will go up here. But I got to turn these around, okay, and kind of get them organized. So when I'm finished, guys, it should look something like this, okay? And this is what your finished kind of flow chart diagram should look like. With data moving from input devices, data going to output devices, data back and forth from the network, okay, and data back and forth from the digital storage devices. If you have questions on this, ask me, but hopefully this tutorial kind of helps you set this up and understand what we're trying to diagram here. And again, it's the flow of data within a digital device, okay? A flow of information. Remember, data for a computer basically is in the form of ones and zeros. The data comes in from input devices, okay, is processed by the microchip here in the middle, okay? The microchip will send and receive data from the storage devices when it needs it and when it needs to save it. Same thing here with the network. It'll send information out to other computers or to the internet, to the cloud, if you will, okay, through the network card and bring information in from those sources when it needs it. and it will send out output data or output information in the form of things being printed, sound, what we see, so on and so forth, in that sense. Okay? I hope this makes sense to you. Let me know if you have questions.